bring garlic knots to the channel. I haven't made them in quite some time, but this is the same day video of making the homemade gravy with sausage. That's in there. Let me show you. That's looking yummy. Okay, so all you missed is me doing the yeast and sugar, but I will tell you how much yeast is in there. Get you a little bit closer. Okay, I did 1/3 of a cup of very warm water and 2 1/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast. In the meantime, I warmed up my milk. You need 1 1/3 cup of milk warmed. You're going to end up needing 5 tablespoons of butter softened, a large egg, 1½ teaspoons of salt, 4 to 4½ cups all-purpose flour. It depends on if your kitchen's cold or not. And I think that's about it. So I put that in there, mixed it. Now we're just going to let it sit for 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to tell you all the ingredients while we wait a minute. I have an egg. I have the melted butter, which is 5 tablespoons of melted butter, 1 large egg. I have salt and all-purpose flour out because you're going to need 4 to 4½ cups of all-purpose flour. Again, it all depends on the temperature in your kitchen. The yeast water mixture was 1/3 cup of very warm water, 2 1/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast, and it was 1/4 a teaspoon of granulated sugar, but you're going to need another 1/4 in a little bit. And the milk, 1 1/3 cup of milk warmed. Okay, so I combined my warm water, the yeast, and that 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. I stirred it. I left it rest. You can see that it's starting to get a little bit bubbly. And then we're going to add the remaining 1/4. I wrote cup, but I'm pretty sure that's a teaspoon of sugar, the warm milk, butter, egg, and salt. So let me get 1/4 teaspoon of sugar over here. Sugar, 1/4. That's looking pretty good. I'm using Fleischmann's Instant, so I technically don't have to wait. So let's just move on. I'm going to do... Okay, so it says after you allow it to rest for 5 to 10 minutes, you would then add the yeast mixture, but I'm doing it all in the KitchenAid with a dough attachment hook, the milk, the butter. So let's go in with, make sure the milk isn't too hot. Milk, the butter, right there. And then we're going to go in with that 1/4 teaspoon, right, of sugar, I think it is. Let's see. Yes. 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. We have to do our egg and our salt. So I'm just going to crack my chicken egg into a separate bowl, because you just never know. And I'm just going to slightly whisk it up, like so. That's going in. Okay. And now I just have to add my salt. I think 1½ teaspoons of salt. I have not made these in years. This is the 1 teaspoon of salt going in. I had to grab a half. Okay, so everything is in there but the flour. We're going to need 4 to 4.5 cups of flour. Like I said, it's all going to depend on how cold your kitchen is. Let's see. I did the egg and the salt. Okay, now we're going to combine it. We're going to mix these ingredients together first. And then we'll go in and we'll start adding the flour. I figured since I'm making like a homemade gravy pasta dinner tonight, that I would make some garlic knots for here. Plus I don't have them on the channel. I haven't made them in like forever and a day. Okay, that's mixed. All-purpose flour. Get it out. Let me move you back a hair so I don't get flour all over my tripod. Little trick that I do is so I know what flour is in there, I put the tag in there. Okay, so we mixed the ingredients together until it was combined, and then we have to mix the flour. So let's start adding the flour. Just leveling it off with my finger. I'm gonna do 2, I think, first. Then I won't add the rest. So we're gonna start combining the 2 cups of flour. And 4. Normally I would be using a butter knife. We'll see how that is before we go to add the 1/2 cup. Start mixing the 4 cups. And I will get out a 1/2 just in case we need it. Show you what that's starting to look like. I'm going to turn it up. You want the flour to come away from the bowl. If it looks too sticky, then we add in that 1/2 cup. Which I can kind of already tell that we're going to need it. So let's add it in. And get that going. I will leave the ingredients down in my description box. Sounds like I'm talking a little bit quieter. It's because I am, because Mr. Thomas is sitting in the living room, and I just don't like to talk too loud. As you can see, it's starting to come away from the bowl. You want to mix this until it's smooth. And if your flour is not coming away from the bowl, you can just add a tablespoon at a time. I want to go past that. You can see mine's looking sticky still. So just add 1 tablespoon at a time. Like I said, it's always affected by it's too warm or it's too cold. It just all depends. I added another tablespoon of flour. And you can see it's starting to come away from the bowl. Now you're going to let this knead to look smooth for 5 minutes. Okay, the dough is done. You want it sticky, not tacky. We're going to take this out and we are going to put it in an oiled bowl. You can use olive oil, you can use avocado oil as long as it's flavorless. We're going to put it in a warm spot. We're going to let it rise for an hour. So I was just cleaning up some flour and I am going to get it out in just a moment. Okay, let me let you sit there. You can actually, if you're not going to use your KitchenAid, you could leave it in the actual bowl that it's in. Just put some oil in the bowl. You can see it's a little tacky, but well, a little sticky, not tacky. And this is going to be our dough for some garlic knots. So, let me get the bowl. There it is. This is what it looks like. Now let me just get a little bit of flour for my hand. We're going to get it all out. I don't have my dough scraper handy. Trying to get all of it off the bottom of the bowl. And then you can technically go in with a little bit of olive oil in this bowl and save yourself more dishes. But it's sticky. And I'm just going to bring this together into a bowl. So let me lower you down a second. Okay, there's my dough. I put a little bit of flour down. And all I'm going to do is just knead it just for a second. And there's our dough to make garlic knots. So I'm going to put some oil in the bowl. I'm going to cover this up with saran wrap and we're going to let it rise for an hour. I will bring you back and show you what that looks like. You can tell the dough is good because when you push it and it springs back, it is ready to be left alone and to rise. So this is exciting, garlic knots. I hope they turn out because like I said, I haven't made them in years. But they should be pretty good. In the meantime, you can get your topping together, which is going to be a tablespoon of olive oil, a tablespoon of melted butter. You're going to need a teaspoon of garlic powder or freshly fine chopped. I'm going to use fresh, and half a teaspoon of dried parsley. You can just make these if you're not doing like an Italian dinner like I am. You can just put marinara sauce on the side and dip them in. But I'll bring you back once this rises, and it'll take about an hour. Put it in a warm spot, like the microwave, not on, or in the oven with the light on, and it'll speed up the process. But there's the dough. Looks great. Now let me get some oil. I'm just going to put it in this bowl and let this bad boy rest. So I'll bring you back. Okay, real quick. I just took this out of the microwave. I had it covered with a towel, and it's at about half. So that's not too bad. It hasn't been in there that long, but it's looking glorious. And as soon as it doubles in size, then we'll get started making our garlic. Okay, friends, the dough rised very nicely. And then I forgot how to make of course, the dog's going to bark. I forgot how to actually roll it. So Miss Jean is over here helping. Just starting to roll it out like a soft pretzel. Some of them on the pan when I show you will be bigger. So let's see if I can remember. And then just pull it in. Right? Miss Jean's standing behind me. And there is your garlic knot. But let me show you. We made some a little bit bigger, and you could see my beginnings. So yeah, don't tell nobody I went to baking school because I completely forgot how to do a knot on this dough. So that's what's left. We just decided we're going to use it all up and eat a bunch of nuts tonight. Like I said, I can always make more. So I asked Miss Jean, because we just got done filling her green stalk planter with dirt and worm casting. And I asked her if she would mind helping me make some knots. Say, look at her knots. Ready? Jean, bring it closer to the camera. See? How pretty. Don't nobody write any don't come at me. Like I said, I have not made this in a while. It does say golf ball size, but I mean, that's up to you if you just want to do golf ball or a little bit bigger. It's definitely bigger than a golf ball, I would think. No, that might be a golf ball. That's another golf ball, yeah. And then just roll it. I just have the camera right on Jean's hand. She'll show you how to do it. It's the first time I have Jean in the kitchen.
Try and stay out of the kitchen when Mel's in it.
Yeah, she'll show you.
Right through.
That's it, my friends. That's how you do that. So we only have a little bit more left to roll. I'll roll one. And then you're going to let these rise for an hour. And then the oven will go on to be preheated at 400 degrees. And like I had said earlier in the video, you can use powdered garlic if you want. I'm not. I'm going to use that fresh garlic that was put in the freezer. So it'll be 1 tablespoon of olive oil, tablespoon of melted butter, and then your choice, garlic powder or freshly finely chopped garlic. And then you can just top it off with some parsley. So I'm giving this to Miss Jean. Yes, that's the gravy. That's the video you saw, and then you'll see this next. Load it with sausage. And we're going to have garlic knots to go with it. So not too shabby for a Saturday. You would think this is a Sunday dinner. And it's not. So, here's all the knots. Looking good. We're just going to let them rise. I'll just stick it in the oven. Pretty sure. Let me check my recipe. Because you all know all my recipes are inside storage. Those should be sticky. Okay, 1 hour. Make knots. Let rise 1 hour. Okay. So, that is that. Thank you, Miss Jean.
You're welcome.
And I will bring it back when they rise and we go to put the yummies on it. And then I'll put them in the oven. So, guess we'll have to hang tight again. Okay, let me show you what I'm doing real quick. I did, let me think, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I did 2 tablespoons of melted butter. And then I broke 3 of those little blocks of my garlic that I preserved into there. And I'm just going to add a teaspoon of garlic powder and a half a teaspoon of dried parsley. So let me see if I could sit you down right here. I figured I would get this ready for when they rise for an hour. Then you'll use a brush like this, a pastry brush, and then you'll just dip it in and go over the top of all the garlic knots. So let me get some parsley and some dried garlic powder. I'm just going to eyeball it. About a teaspoon and a half. And then some parsley flakes. There you go. Well, that's all the parsley flakes there are. So I'll leave this out on the counter so Jean will pick up another one. So that's it. While they're in the oven, I'll show you. The oven's not on. They're in the oven rising. And then when they come out, we will put I'm going to nuke this in the microwave. And then we'll go over every garlic knot with that. And we're going to bake them for 10 to 12 minutes. So when they come out from rising, I will bring it back. But, the smell of garlic in here, it smells so good. All right. Since I just took them out of the oven, you can see that they proofed. These were a few of my little ones. And I put the oven on 400. And I have the mixture in the microwave. to put on the garlic knots. So that's what they look like, nice and risen. Now I'm just melting the butter, you know, trying to do up the garlic. Okay, here it is out of the microwave. I'm going to give it a little stir with the fork. Mix it all in. It's definitely going to need a little bit of salt. Just give that a stir. Let me set you right here. And I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now we're going to start lathering it on. I want to put a little extra oil in here because it seems like it got absorbed. And the noise you hear, that is the oven preheating. So let's just stir this up, and then we're going to go in and hopefully garlic doesn't burn. And I'm assuming you can keep some of this off to the side if you wanted to actually dip it in and get more garlic. You can do that if you like. If you're not making this with a dinner like I am, you can just warm up some marinara sauce, make it for a baseball game, football game, and yeah, so let's do these bad boys up. I'll sit you there for a second. I'm just gonna try to make sure they all get some garlic on there. Again, these will go in the oven 400 for 11 to 12 minutes, but you want to make sure they're done and not doughy on the inside. Hopefully you're seeing this, but I will have to go back around some of them. I feel like there's a lot more garlic than there is the butter and olive oil. Just an observation. Okay, so let's go in and grab some garlic. Put some on any that I may have missed. I forgot to do that one. And I think I got them all. I would definitely up the butter. I put a little extra garlic in mine, and that's why there's not a lot of liquid. But there they are. There's obviously garlic left. Trying to get some on here. Make sure none's really missing any garlic. And that looks pretty good to me. I am just waiting for the oven to preheat. and the water to boil so I can put the pasta in, so these will be done at the same time. So I will come back on and show you the finished product. But there they are. Let me get you in as close as I can. Yummy garlic knots. So, oven 400, 10 to 12 minutes, and I will show you what these look like once I get them out of the oven. Hopefully they don't burn on the bottom. I don't remember if the bottom had to be greased or anything, but it does have some olive oil and butter on it, so it should be fine, I would think. Yeah, they should move around. Okay, bring it back when they are all done. Okay, I just took them out of the oven and was dishing up dinner, and there they are, my friends. Looking pretty good. Here's the bottom, top. So this is what everybody's gonna get to eat. Let me see if I can get Jean out here to taste test one, make sure it's done. Okay, so I asked Miss Jean if she would taste test one, because I was dishing up dinner. So that is the video you saw with the sauce. All done and ready to go. She's gonna dip it in the sauce like it wasn't hot enough. May not be right on top. Are they done? Mm-hmm. Okay, folks. You heard it from Miss Jean. They're done. How do they taste?
They're delicious.
Oh, okay. So, total success. Like, subscribe, share. If you're new around here, maybe think about subscribing, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye, friends.